of its diverse peoples. Our present 1999 Constitution, as amended, is not such a constitution. It was not democratically formulated. It was instead imposed on the country through a decree by the military administration. And the governance system derived from it is not only non-inclusive, but also induces over-expenditure of the nation's resources on administration rather than on capital development. Hence, the need for a new constitution made by the peoples of our country. There are also equally incontrovertible facts about the current situation in our country. First, there is serious insecurity of life and property, with kidnappings and killings happening virtually every day in most parts of the country, especially in the Middle Belt, the Northeast, the Northwest regions, where not only huge numbers of life and property are regularly lost, but also farmers are no longer able to go to their farms, thereby impacting adversely on the country's food supply. Secondly, Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world, with the levels of poverty and sufferings among the citizens rising rather than diminishing. And thirdly, the development of the country's infrastructure is generally lagging behind, including especially in health and education facilities, which in many cases are no longer fit for purpose. Fourthly, there is eroding sense of national unity within a pluralistic country that is still struggling to become a nation. Again, there is a palpable mood of hopelessness and lack of confidence in the future among the growing population of our young people. And overall, the present 36 federating units are obviously incapable of generating and sustaining the pace of national development achieved in the early years of our independence under the 1963 Constitution. In organizing this national summit, the patriots are of the view that the incontrovertible facts that I have mentioned can be more effectively reversed if our pluralistic country is given a more credible and truly federal constitution, democratically made by the Nigerian people, a constitution that would be in sync with the constitutions of successful pluralistic countries around the world. To those who say that the fate of a country depends primarily on its leadership, I say that the constitution from which the system of governance is derived largely determines the character of the people who get elected or appointed to govern the country from the three arms of the government. It is therefore my hope that the deliberations of this summit, which has in attendance so many leaders of thought and representatives of the country's major socio-cultural groups, as well as representatives of the important women and youth sections of our society, will produce recommendations on the key elements of the desired new constitution and the process of its actualization. The key elements, I hope, that will be discussed should include such questions as presidential or parliamentary system, tenure and rotation of the heads of government at the national and sub-national levels, unicameral or bicameral legislature, number of federating units, powers of the national and the sub-national governments, structure of the security agencies, political parties and their organization, management of the country's resources, and indeed other important features of a constitution. And in considering the process of actualizing the new constitution, I hope there would be due emphasis on ensuring that it is formulated by representatives specifically elected for that purpose by the Nigerian people, who, in order to give it legitimacy, would have to endorse it in a national referendum. Finally, I want here to thank the organizers of the town hall meetings that preceded this summit in the 6 geopolitical zones, which have provided ideas that are to be fed into our deliberations. In ending my remarks, I would like to stress the importance of speakers adhering to their allocated times so that we can have as many speakers as possible within the 2 days of our meeting. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Of the Patriots, resolve therefore to commence the crusade for a truly people's constitution negotiated by all the peoples, ethnic nationalities, and interest groups to fashion out agreeable and happy to live with values, codes, and rules for governing our country, Nigeria. But those at that inaugural meetings were as following: Chief F.R.A. Williams, CFR.SAN, Professor Ben Wambawese, SAN, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, Chief Adebayo Adeneji, former head of ACA, Senator Abraham Adesanya. SAN, Chief MCK Ajiluchuku, Chief Richard Akinjide, SAN, Chief Dawudu, Chief Bola Ige, SAN, Professor Joe Iruku, SAN, Chief Bob Obuago, myself, and our secretary was Chief Lanny Williams, the son of Chief F.R. Williams. It was at that meeting that we agreed Chief F.R. Williams as our chairman and Professor Ben Mwabweze as his deputy, and Chief Lanny Williams as our secretary. We didn't have a secretary general at that time. And we unanimously agreed to be known as the Patriots. It all started during Sani Abacha's rule. Founding membership agreed with Chief Solomon, increased with Chief Solomon Asemota, SAN, Chief Albert K. Horsfall, former DG SSS, Chief David Dafinone, and Chief Philip Asodu, and Obam Victor Attal. I am delighted that the Patriots membership now spans the entire country, as represented in this gathering today, under the leadership of Chief Emeka Anyoku, GCON, JVCO, a former Commonwealth Secretary General, as chairman, and a veteran, Wale Okuni, as our Secretary General. May I, at this point, request a 1-minute silence in honor of our founding members, who are not now with us today. In fact, of all those members, I'm the only one alive. So please arise with me to observe the 1-minute silence of the hour. To make clear that the Patriots started advocating for a truly people's constitution long before the present administration. I need that to be clear, because time and again, when we meet to try to discuss ways forward, people in some governments will think you're coming after them. That's not so. The Patriots are not cut out for this. We were cut out to suggest ways to build a better and stronger, all-inclusive country. And there's no desire, therefore, to take the shine of anyone. We are motivated by what we believe as the founding leaders appreciated when they negotiated and agreed that the best vehicle for governing Nigeria will be this multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-national, multi-religious mix is an unhindered federal system in which every group is happy to belong to. That said, it is noteworthy, therefore, that the various conferences, call them reform or national conferences, all agree that the Constitution that we operate today needed a total overhaul. Therefore, the need to have a process that all peoples would be part of and inexpensive to run. My own considered view is to call on the various peoples of Nigeria to a conference where they will present their conditions for living and working together for their individual and common good. We need to produce a federal constitution that ensures equal opportunities, where no one is oppressed or sidelined, and a constitution made and owned by the peoples of the entire country, Nigeria. The 1999 Constitution is not a people's constitution, for it makes it impossible for our various peoples to express themselves, develop as they should, and largely suppresses initiatives, but those impoverishing the people in most aspects of human development indices. I dare say that contrary to the opinions held by some, no state in this country, no area in this country is unviable. Every part of this country can boast of expensive land, tremendous number of mineral resources, and capable humans who can run the affairs of this country. What we need and must do is to allow those entities and humans the free access to their mineral resources and the release of their motive power to develop their resources and their land so that people can build a strong and responsible humans, responsible economies that can place our country where it belongs, at the top of the line of developed countries of the world. Our founding fathers got it right at inception of October 1960, when our country became independent. But we got it all wrong thereafter, reversing the conditions on which our independence was granted and negotiated. The need to have a truly people's constitution is immediate, in my view, for Nigeria to survive. And survive we should, God being our helper. It is also necessary, I must say, to buttress the need for decentralizing the security paradigm of our country, such that the states can have control of their security apparatus. To this extent, I will support those who are seeking to have state policing and local government policing. There is also the need to reform our present government structure and adopt a less parliamentary system, less expensive parliamentary system. We should adopt the French model. We must strengthen our judiciary and make INEC truly independent. To this extent, I would recommend to this conference the adoption of the 2014 National Conference report as we make a truly people's constitution. May I thank Professor Anthony Killer, Senator Benga Daniel, Senator Amin Lutambo Walo, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, Senator Ben Obi, His Excellency Donald Duke, and their teams that made this conference possible. I pray that Almighty God will grant us the wisdom and the strength and the courage to build a strong, reliable country in which no one is oppressed. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir.
As what the patriots have done today. It was the first stage in the 50s for the Constitution. Now, the problem was that after the 1960 Constitution, which was an addressing council, problems started. And the problem then was that the control of Nigeria, they wanted to know whether it's going to be by the north or by the south. But the British succeeded essentially to provide a division between the Muslim north and the Christian south. They forgot that there are lots of Christians in the north and also lots of Muslims in the south. But that became something that till this date we have not been able to overcome. And we still talk about north and south. But what the 1960 Constitution provided for everything we wanted. And I'm sure that if we had kept to that Constitution, we would have been better off than we are today. Now, the first mistake we made was the question of eliminating the British Council, the House of Lords, as the ultimate body to look into our judicial system. And if you look at the judgment that the Privy Council delivered at that time, you see it depends on the side you belong. You're either the Democrat or those who believe in something different. However, immediately after independence, the Constitution was tampered with and in some cases was even ignored. For example, the state of emergency in Western Nigeria. There was really no provision for that, but somewhere some brilliant Nigerians dug out some documents of the British government, which gives them the right, as they say, to declare a Western House and suspend Western region. Well, those of us who are from the Midwest benefited when the Midwest was created by the administrator of the Western region at the time, But after he completed his job, he just disappeared from the scene. Also, the orders made were not made correctly, and nobody bothered anything further. And that has been the habit and a difficulty till this day. We have been making living constitution, but I've come to the conclusion that our problem was that we didn't develop our political parties. Because if we had, we could have been a better place. India did. It took them almost 300 years to succeed in doing that. So even though only not too long ago we got our independence, I think it is right for us to now concentrate as a state of emergency to develop our political parties. I am sure, and I still say it, that if the parties of the past, the NCNC, the Action Group, and the MPC, had been allowed to exist, Nigeria today would have been a different country. Because the essence of parties and the development. I have written something which is being circulated, that Nigeria and the search for democracy. Because strictly speaking, I have a problem to understand the type of democracy which, as a British officer, we had, and the different one now that is given to us. And I have to mention this question of, I have to mention the issue of state of emergency, because it was a weapon in the hands of the colonialists. And the thing is that this day, some of Nigerians still think we are a colony and we should still be treated as a colonial subject. I was a member of the Abubakar Ato Constitutional Review Committee, which was set up under IBB, in which We also reviewed the Constitution of 1979, which had all that is required. But I got the impression, being one of the few still alive, that the whole concept was to make democracy difficult. We talk about democracy and we make our electoral commission tell us that they don't want to use technology. I'm fortunate to have been in the football team of this country, and technology has helped to promote fairness in sports. And to suggest now that the law does not authorize or makes it extremely difficult for some of us, even though we are lawyers. We found out that, like when the British trained us, you had a choice to learn how to play the game according to the rules. But by the side, you are told how to foul somebody, get him down. Some people use that as the weapon, and that's what has happened to our country. Most people now think that to do the right things, you are wrong. That the system and the society makes it difficult for you to do the right thing. Well, we cannot progress if we do not do the correct thing. And some of us who still stick, my qualification is not what I have done for government, but what I have refused to do for government. But it's never included in my CV because and I'm not qualified for national honors because I haven't served the government in that direction. So the object of the exercise, I believe, is that it is time. We are lucky. We are very lucky to live. And I believe that we are leaving one stage for another. An era has just ended, and a new one is coming. And the new one must be tackled. And before I conclude, I want to say I am a made-in-Nigeria product. I attended St. Louis School Jos, Immaculate Conception College, Benin. I did my LLB at Koka and my BL in Babbage. I am a made-in-Nigeria. So anybody suggesting that we must change, and now we have kingdoms. If you see a copy of what I wrote, I started to say it by saying that the Benin Kingdom, where I come from, expired in 1897 after the Benin expedition. And anybody suggesting that we should now go back to that, I find it difficult to adjust. Anyway, I don't have too much time to leave, so I pray to God that it may never happen. That we now have Benin as part of Nigeria. In conclusion, the signs are going on. I can talk here for 1 hour, but the signs are going on. We need to sit down and reconsider. We need an Oputa too, so that we can open up to ourselves. Because Oputa did not complete his job. And I hope that our recommendations will include that, so that for the consultation of those who have authority to make this law. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chief Solomon Asem.
Most respected chairman of the eminent patrons, other excellencies, leaders and national leaders of various social, cultural, and political organizations, eminent personalities here present, great jurists. For want of time, permit me to welcome you all, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with an immense sense of honor, profound humility, and unwavering commitment to our national responsibilities that I warmly welcome each and every one of you to this historic event, the 2025 National Constitutional Summit. This significant gathering has been convened by the patrons and is being held here today in the heart of our nation's capital, Abuja. Today we come together not merely as individuals representing various institutions, ethnic groups, or political parties, but as proud citizens united by a common and noble aspiration to forge a Nigeria that truly works for all its people. We gather as a group of patriots, although with differing ideas and perspectives, yet deeply committed to helping shape a Nigeria that we're all proud of. This moment marks a significant step in our journey towards unity, progress, and national development. By standing together today, we reaffirm our shared dedication to the ideal of fairness, justice, and equity, which are the foundation of a truly great nation. This summit is a citizen-driven constitutional intervention stemming from months and even years of relentless advocacy, extensive consultations, and a growing sense of public urgency. We are here because, as we have been told, the existing structure established by the 1999 Constitution has consistently proven to be inadequate in effectively addressing the core issues related to governance, equity, inclusion, and national cohesion. Our agenda for the coming days is ambitious, but aims to be straightforward and focused. We will scrutinize vital themes, including the organization and structure of the Nigerian Federation, the role and functioning of local governments and traditional institutions. We will look at resource control and fiscal federalism, electoral reforms and judicial reforms, of course, security concerns nationwide, and the rights and responsibilities of citizenship in a democracy in the 21st century. More importantly, we will work diligently to ensure that no voice is too small and that no group is left behind. This summit is multi-generational, spanning different regions, and inclusive of various sectors, truly embodying the Nigeria we aspire to build. To our young people, your presence here is a compelling reminder that the future of this nation undoubtedly rests in your hands. To the women, our committed civil society actors, our highly esteemed traditional rulers, and revered religious figures, your insights, viewpoints, and contributions are not only valuable but essential to shaping the path forward. Your involvement and voices are crucial in building a brighter, more inclusive, and resilient future for all. As the co-chair of this organizing committee, I feel it is essential to take a moment to sincerely commend and acknowledge the tireless dedication, hard work of His Excellency, Ambassador Emeka Anyaoku, and the wonderful team put together to midwife this process, especially the commitment of all our volunteers, advisors, and conveners. Allow me to conclude by emphasizing that this moment does not signify an end, but rather a new commencement. The resolutions and proposals arising from this summit will be carefully documented, further refined, and subsequently presented to both the Presidency and the National Assembly for their consideration. Our intention is not to foster confrontation, but to promote constructive collaboration and mutual understanding. It is imperative that we persuade our leaders through reasoned argument, consensus building, and compelling evidence that Nigeria is in dire need of a new constitutional framework that reflects the aspirations and realities of all its citizens. Lastly, let history record that in 2025, Nigeria came together not to complain, not to recite, but to build a framework for the country we desire and deserve. On that note, once again, I welcome you all warmly. I invite us to proceed with the seriousness, respect, and resolve that this moment demands. Let me finally thank the President and Commander-in-Chief, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for providing an enabling environment for the summit to hold. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Constitutional Summit, Chief Emeka Anyaoku, GCON CFR. Other protocols duly observed. I have been brought here to read to these distinguished audience the goodwill messages from the former president of Nigeria and also His Royal Majesty, the Obi of Onitsha. That's my task here at this moment as the Secretary General of the Patriots. I wish to proceed first with the goodwill message of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to this summit. And I read it as follows. My dear Chief, let me wish you and other patriots, that is writing to Chief Emeka Anyaoku GCON CFR, success in your deliberation on Constitution to which you have invited me. Unfortunately, I have other appointments which prevents my being able to physically be with you. But as we discussed on telephone, the nation's constitution as the fundamental law must reflect the history, the constituents, and the aspiration of its people. It must be sacrosanct. From my experience in operating our constitution, I will be the first to point out some areas of our constitution that need amendment. However, for me, no constitution can be ever regarded as perfect. But whatever the strength or weakness of a constitution, the most important issue to my understanding and experience are the operators of the constitution. The best constitution can be perverted and distorted by the operators. And we have experienced that all over Africa, Nigeria not exempted. They are more concerned about the operators of the constitution to lead in good governance and promotion of welfare and well-being of the citizenry. No matter what you do to the Nigerian constitution, if the operators of the constitution for the past 1 decade and a half remain unchanged and continue in the same manner, the welfare and the well-being of Nigerians will continue to be sacrificed on the altar of selfishness, self-centeredness, corruption, impunity, and total disregard for the Constitution, decency, morality, integrity, and honesty. At this crucial time, the operators matter more, and the searchlight should be on them. When we get the right operators, they will give us the amended or new constitution close to what we need to make every Nigerian a proud stakeholder of the project Nigeria. Accept, my dear Chief, the assurances of my highest regard. General Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. That was the goodwill message from Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to this distinguished guy. I take the second, which is from His Royal Majesty Nnamaka Alfred
view on this matter. But for now, I'm just going to read his own statement. Distinguished elders and leaders of thought, Your Excellencies, esteemed delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a profound sense of pride, humility, and unwavering commitment to our nation that I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you to the 2025 National Constitutional Summit. This significant gathering, convened by the patriots in a group of eminent Nigerians, marks a pivotal moment somehow in our country's history. Today, as we come together in this historic assembly of minds and conscience from every corner of our great nation, we are not simply attending another ordinary conference. No, we are actively participating in a defining chapter in Nigeria's ongoing journey, one that aspires to reignite and redefine the fabric of our millennium through the creation of a people-centered, equitable, and sustainable constitution that will serve as the foundation for all our collective future. Fellow Nigerians, fellow students, patriots, Nigeria currently finds itself at a critical juncture, crossroads that will define its future direction. For a considerable length of time, the organizational structure of our nation and the fundamental framework of our governance have faced significant challenges, somehow inadequately reflecting the rich diversity of our people, honoring our collective aspirations, and delivering the lasting promises of peace, justice, and prosperity to every citizen. From the lofty hills of the Plateau region, to the winding creeks of the Delta, from the fertile lands of Benue to the bustling streets of Kano and Lagos, the message is clear and consistent. Nigeria must function more effectively. Nigeria must work more efficiently and fairly for each and every one of its citizens. That's the spirit that has brought us here today. The summit is a culmination of many months of extensive consultation, meaningful dialogues, deep reflections, and conducted by distinguished groups of Nigerians including former heads of states, jurists, academics, leaders of labor unions, traditional rulers, and representatives of civil society organizations. Collectively, we are committed to undertaking the vital task of diagnosing the constitutional challenges that Nigeria currently faces, listening attentively to the diverse voices of Nigerians, ensuring that not only the loudest or most powerful are heard, but also those from every region, every age group, and every walk of life. Ultimately, drafting and presenting a legislative bill for a new constitution, a constitution created by the people for the people. This initiative will not involve simple amendments or superficial modifications. Our objective somewhere is to bring about profound and transformative change, not merely superficial or cosmetic adjustments. The role of the patriots. Let me take this opportunity to express my sincere and profound appreciation for the remarkable leadership of Chief Emeka Nyagu, who serves as the chair of the Patriots. My big uncle or brother and co-chair of the organization, His Excellency Senator Otumba Benga Daniel, whose steady hands and presence have been invaluable in bringing in today's gathering. I also wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our numerous elders and esteemed colleagues who have laid with unwavering vision and extraordinary courage their steadfast, principled stance and relentless commitment to the cause of national renewal through constitutional reform have been a profound source of inspiration for this entire process. Furthermore, I must make special mention of the national chairman of the Patriots Advocacy and Mobilization Committee, Professor Anthony Killer, and the entire dedicated team within the Patriots Advocacy and Mobilization Committee. We thank you all. Their tireless dedication to ensure that every part of the Federation is thoroughly consulted and actively involved has played a crucial role in making our gathering today a truly momentous and historic occasion for the nation. To those who doubted this moment will come, or that such a coalition of serious minds could be summoned in these challenging times, we say Nigeria is not short of patriots, it is short of platforms. This summit is such a platform. I would like to appeal for an open mind and honest dialogue. Let us be clear. The issues before us are not straightforward or simple. They are as old as our federation itself and as intricate and multifaceted as our collective history. Nonetheless, we must confront them with complete honesty and a sense of humility about our limitations and an unwavering sense of hope for the future. We should engage in debates and discussions with conviction and passion, but never with contempt or disrespect for differing opinions. It is natural to disagree. In fact, disagreement can be a healthy and vital part of progress. However, it's essential that we do so always with the overarching aim of maintaining the unity and the purpose that bind us all together as a nation. In closing, let this be remembered at the historic summit at which Nigeria rose above partisan division, ethnic differences, fear and hesitation, and embark on a path towards establishing a new constitutional order, a federation that functions quite effectively, and a union founded on mutual consent and a democracy that really serves its people. On behalf of the organizing committee and all our partners, I extend a warm welcome once again to everyone attending the summit. It is my sincere hope that our discussions and deliberations will be fruitful and constructive, that will keep our hearts and minds open to the new ideas and perspectives, and that our collective determination remains unwavering. Thank you all for your presence and participation, and may I once more ask for your apology for not being able to be here physically, but I can assure you my mind is here and I'll be well represented. May divine guidance be with us. May the blessings of the Almighty be upon the very Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency Senator Aminu Wazir Tambuwal, Co-Chairman, National Constitution Center. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another
Ogun State, Chief Benedict Daniel, all excellencies here present, our royal fathers, members of the Patriots. I celebrate Nigerian women all gathered here, led by the President of the National Council of Women Societies, Princess Edna. I acknowledge all our leaders, the youth leaders that are present here today, and all leaders of our different nationalities. Today we are gathered here to make history and to especially thank the chairman and members of the Patriot for organizing this important dialogue where we sit again to address issues affecting our country and the right constitution. We're talking about the People's Constitution. The People's Constitution has to reflect the needs of each Nigerian. And all that we need to do is we have to be fair and just to every nationality. Every nationality in Nigeria must have a sense of belonging. We have different nationalities. Some of them have spoken. The women, the gender aspect of our constitution is very, very important. As the last two speakers clearly said, having women at the table makes a lot of difference. It's on record. This morning I was reading on one of the platforms, Namibia is one of the leading best African country after Rwanda today, because we have 3 women leaders. The president is a woman, the vice president is a woman, and the speaker is a woman. Now, because these women are in leadership, corruption is almost at 0 level. Most of the infrastructures are in place, governance, everything is moving well, and they have been rated as the second best in Africa today because mothers are in charge. I'm appealing to our leaders that in everything we do, we must ensure that the gender aspect is very, very important, because the woman doesn't talk about herself. The woman doesn't think of herself. the woman thinks of the family, the woman thinks of the children, and once the issue of children and family is addressed, the society will be better off for it, the community will be better off for it, and Nigeria will be better off for it. The youths are our future leaders. The youths must be empowered and their needs addressed, because mothers go along with the children. These two segments are very, very important. Once a woman is in position of authority, the family is good to go because she takes care of the entire family. And who is the family? The head of the family is the man. Why? So gender should be properly addressed, the youth must be properly addressed, and the most important and the final aspect I want to address is Nigerians must, every Nigerian must, we must change our side. We must be patriotic enough. It's not about the constitution. Even if we have the best constitution and the people or the leaders or the operators are not doing the right thing, we are just wasting our time. So every Nigerian must be patriotic enough, do the right thing at the right time, have the fear of God, and be fair and just in all that you do. Nigerian women, wake up to your responsibility, stand firm, and make sure you participate in every activity that leads to moving this country to a better place. The youths, it is your time. You cannot sit back and be called to. You must be out there and be seen that you lead and do the right thing at the right time. So I want to sincerely congratulate the chairman of this forum for his commitment and for organizing this very important topic, and which I know is very timely. We also thank the president for giving us the enabling environment to be here. Without his support, we wouldn't be here. And I believe that at the end of this conference, whatever is the recommendations of this deliberation, Mr. President will definitely give his blessings, and that will be better off for all of us in this country. Thank you as we struggle to make this country a better place, as we struggle to have the Nigeria we are dreaming of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. My time is fast spent.